I'm going to show you guys how to do a U-joint. It's the same on a PTO shaft and as any drive shaft on a truck that has these U-joints. There's a science to it. Whatever angle the front is, if it's in your truck and it's like this, the opposite angle has to be at the other end. So as you're turning, your U-joint is doing this, going back and forth, and the opposite end has to be doing the exact opposite movement, and then you get zero vibration. You know, U-joint's wrong, or there's something wrong with the U-joint when you hear a squeak, because it's dry. You can see this one's dry, it's all rusty, that's no good. It could be a vibration at a certain speed, it could be a vibration at all speed, and I know lots of people have spent hundreds of dollars trying to figure out a vibration, and they're getting tires balanced and they're getting rims checked, and all it is a $15 U-joint. It's very simple to change. All you need is a socket that is slightly smaller than the cup on the U-joint. You need a hammer, you need a grease gun, and you need safety glasses and good aim. So first thing to do is to pull your caps off and fill them with grease. The grease keeps the needles from falling out as you're pressing them in. Now you can see already that I don't know if you can see that or not, but as I pulled it out, these needles were coming out a little bit. You gotta push them back in again, make sure that your boot is nice and tight, and then by putting grease in there, it keeps all the needles around the outside. There's two different kinds of U-joints. There's greasable and there's non-greasable. This is a greasable one, so it has a grease fitting, so you can grease it afterwards. If you do not grease them every 5,000K, 7,000K, they'll fail prematurely because there's more chance for dirt to get in. A non-greasable unit, if you're poor on your maintenance, that might be the way to go. They don't last as long, but they last longer than a greasable one that doesn't ever get greased. So I try to keep up on maintenance on my vehicles. I like the greasable ones. So we're gonna put this greased one in. Just take a pinky and just put the grease all the way around the outside, and that'll keep the bearings from, the little needle bearings from falling in prematurely. It's hard to tell. When U-joints have play, you might be able to grab the drive shaft and wiggle it back and forth and you'll feel some play. But sometimes it just is still tight until you drive it because it's just binding in a certain spot. So it's just two little caps to pull the U-joint off, and you can replace them. So these ones have a C-clip on the inside. Some of them have a C-clip on the outside, or a circlip that goes in the middle, but there's a clip right here. Oh, sorry, you might need a punch too. We're gonna knock that clip out. You see that clip there? I got half of it. There's the other half. Screwdriver, got a little leverage here, but then again it is rusted solid. Trying to shake it loose, trying to shake some of the rust out. Good old salt in Canada. Every job is a chore because everything rusts solid. There we go. All you want to do is open your vise up. So just the sides of the U-joint are sitting on the vise. You want to hit it with a hammer with the ball peen right here. A lot of drive shafts are aluminum, and it becomes tin right after this weld here. So if you hit here, you'll dent it and you'll unbalance your drive shaft, and you'll still have a vibration. So you gotta hit it right on the ear there, and it's only putting pressure on this ear, and it's actually spreading the ears out a little bit, which makes it easier to put it back in again. As you put your U-joints back in again, now you're compressing them, and you're squeezing the ears back together. That makes it more difficult to put back together again. You can pop it out, chuck it in the garbage, put your U-joint in sooner than later. If you come out too far, you're gonna have a hard time hitting that groove. So you only have maybe a 1/4 inch if you come in too far. What I like to do is put the U-joint in the bearing, even as it's loose. That way the needles don't fall out. So just take it in your vise and just squeeze it together. You want to come in nice and even. If you come in crooked, it won't go in at all. You got to stop and try again. So what I like to do now is go a little bit farther, if my vise will go out that far, and it won't. So I'm going to take a chance. This one's in all the way. I can see my groove for my ring. I'm just going to put this cap on the other side, making sure I don't have any dirt or rust in there. I'm going to pull it out a little bit so it's still partly in the needles on the other side, and put my cap on and push it in as far as I can. Now I know that the U-joint is in both caps at the same time, greatly reducing the needles falling out. What happens is one needle will tip over in the bottom, and you won't be able to squeeze it together. You get like a grinding to it. That's no good. So we're gonna squeeze this one in. Actually, I can see my groove on the other side, so what I'm gonna do first is put my clip in. Then I know I'm not pushing the other one back out again. Otherwise I'm just chasing myself back and forth again. So there's my clip. I'm gonna squeeze it together. It's going really nice actually. That's as far as she wants to go. And see how this one's flush? This one's got a ways to go, so I gotta spread my ears out a little bit. So now that clip is in, I can take my caps, put them on the ends here. Now this is pretty tough steel. What I want to do is try and hit it again and fold that ear up a little bit, spread the ears out a little bit, making sure that clip stays put. But with the socket in there, I might be able to spread the other ear out too. That could be the one that's bent. I got it a little bit farther there. That big chisel. What I'm doing is hitting the ear that way, and because I'm in my socket here, this ear here is able to slide over top of my socket. So I'm able to push this ear that way. Need a bit more. Take another clip. Pops on nicely now. Take that up now. You're going to want to be able to spin this very freely, and this has quite a bit of resistance yet because the ears are tight. So it's not going to wear in. If it doesn't move on its own like this, it's not going to. It's going to get hot, it's going to burn the grease out, and you're going to have another U-joint to replace it by the time you do your next oil change. So you want to put your vise together again. Hit it a couple times that way. Couple times that way. A little better. Keep doing that. Split the difference between the two ears. And I like that. Put the grease fitting in. Give it some grease. Stick it back in the vise when I grease it, just so those two caps that don't have ears on them don't spread out. You don't want to put too much grease in because otherwise it's going to be hard to get it in the yoke. Right when you start hearing a little bit of crackling, stop, because after that you're just breaking the seal anyway. This side, I'm not going to do it because it's fine. This is still the original U-joint because it's not greasable, and it's got little plastic that comes out. And I inject plastic in there around the outside, and that's what keeps it from coming out. There's no clips, so you just hit it really hard and it'll pop out. But this one's absolutely fine, so I'm going to leave it alone. So, and that's how you do a U-joint. Nice, cheap, $15 fix.
So follow a variety of projects that include conversions and repairs to anything from Ferraris to chainsaws. And check out the Tape Boss, my newest invention that's coming to market. And remember, if you're not filthy, you're not rich.